Earlier today, the New South Wales Premier Berejiklian made some of the most despicable, disgusting, vile and divisive statements that I have ever heard from any leader in this nation. Just listen to this.
Obviously, there is no perfection to this, but it would be extremely careless and reckless if anybody welcomes someone who was, if you're vaccinated, I mean, I myself would not want to be anywhere with someone who's not vaccinated. That's just my personal choice. And distancing, they don't let their guard down. But we know in reality, people will slip. And that's why we can't afford to have unvaccinated people mixing with vaccinated people. We have to be real.
Not only is that vile and disgusting, it is pig ignorant.
Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Chris Shul, aka the esoteric noetic, aka the chocolate Nubian soul brother from Ghana, West Africa, dropping the wisdomatic truth bombs here in Melbourne, Australia, mate. Home where we are one and meh, where we've all gotten the boom shakalaka. Well, most of us. The ones that are really good have, like me, even though I haven't got it, but I'm a transvaxite, so I identify that I've taken it. And we're all gonna get along by separating each other, all the boom shakalaka from the unboom shakalaka, so we can all be in this together. Isn't that what we all said? We're all in this together, mate. Let's all be in this together by not accepting anyone that we don't like, that is not in this together with us. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mom, drop some comments, let us know what it is. Let's get it. Oh! How about that? The rulers here in Australia, mate, they seem like cartoon characters. They are saying the most ridiculous things, and somehow it's being presented as if this is what needs to be said, what is normal, and that might have something to do with the fact that the mainstream media is a circus. They are not real journalists. They are simply just putting forth a narrative that has been backed by their major investors and so forth. And anything that questions this narrative, you're not going to hear unless you're tuning into people like yours truly, the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother. But here we have it. Australia, a country that is saying, well, it's definitely not saying we're all in this together right now. It's interesting how that was the slogan about 18 months ago, right? We're all in this together. It would be kind of difficult to say we're all in this together when the very policy of rulers like Berejiklian is that if you don't do as I tell you, well, I don't want to be anywhere near you. You're not with me. You're not together with me. But at least that's closer to the reality of what is going on in terms of the war that is going on, because the reality is we're not all in this together. I shouldn't need to remind people that you either believe in freedom, liberty, human rights, actual human rights, not this greater good nonsense, or you believe in forcing substances into people because you are trying to keep everyone safe. The very diametrically opposed attitude towards human rights, freedom, liberty, the common law, the natural law, that which we deem as being good in a civilized society. But it seems that's what we're moving into at the moment. A realm of we can justify anything for the greater good. And of course, if you make comparisons to holocausts that have taken place in the past, or horrible incidences like apartheid or Nazi Germany, 1930s, people say, oh, look, man, it's nothing like that. We're doing what we're doing to keep everyone safe. How can you make such a comparison? It's ridiculous, man. But how are we supposed to learn from history if we can't even compare what is happening now to things that have happened in history? Because I'm going to level with you. What is happening now is not exactly the same as what happened in Germany 82 years ago. But it's alarmingly close. What is happening right now in terms of the separation of people not being able to go on buses, unless, of course, they have been boom shakalaked, people not allowed into restaurants, allowed to have bank accounts in some countries. That is alarmingly close, would you not say, be honest, with what took place in the United States. not that long ago. What was it, 50 or so years ago? Segregation, black people with my skin color not being allowed on the bus. Therefore, to say that you should not be drawing these comparisons because they are not the same thing, whereas it's kind of true because they're not the same thing. We have different issues here. They are alarmingly close. And we cannot learn if we do not make comparisons about history. We're just doomed to repeat history if we do not understand the causal factors that brought these horrible incidences in the past into fruition. We just keep on repeating it time and time again. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at what is going on in the world right now. Now, I came across this post that I found rather disturbing, but is happening here as well. If I was looking at this 2 years ago, I would have thought this was something out of a science fiction movie, but here we are. So this post says, "Today is a sad day for Switzerland, my country. I never ever thought that we will reach this stage. From Monday onwards, we need a certificate to enter restaurants, clubs, gyms, cinemas, and other public locations, except food stores. In certain countries, it's even food stores. For the moment, but I guess it will be a question of time. Companies who don't follow the order will be fined with $15,000 fines. Further, our government is also considering to implement quarantine again for the un-boom shakalaka and boom shakalaka people. But you can test yourself back to freedom if you prove 2 negative PCR tests within 7 days." Such a joke, the post says. So if I don't want to go ahead with forcible boom shakalaka, rape essentially, I am forced to be tested, forced to put something in my body once again, rape, just so that I can comply. This seems to be the standard even in progressive societies like Switzerland. This is not some far back country, like Africa. Africa's a continent, I know. But you know what I'm saying, right? This is not happening in Uganda. This is not happening in Andes, Mayoka. This is not happening in Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. This is happening in Switzerland. This kind of stuff is happening in Australia, mate. This is the kind of stuff that is happening in Western countries. Absolutely disgraceful. Now, another report. Healthcare crisis looms as 6,000 hospital workers suspended for not being jabbed. It's funny how these people were on the front line. We were praising them. You guys are so amazing. You're sacrificing yourselves, for all of the sick people. You guys are so compassionate. Now these people are being called selfish because they don't want to get the boom shakalaka. So, according to this article, in Greece, close to 6,000 hospital workers have been suspended for refusing to get the boom shakalaka. The Greek Ministry of Health has stated that 5,895 hospital workers are currently suspended indefinitely. However, wait for it, on Thursday, the Greek government announced that they would give hospital workers a second chance. We're going to give you a second chance to get boom shakalaka and have their jobs reinstated. Look, we know you guys have been really inappropriate. You haven't been doing the right thing. But because we're such nice, caring, compassionate people, we're going to give you another chance to do the right thing so we can forcibly rape you. Someone posted on my TikTok feed. I have a TikTok channel. Give us a follow, ladies and gentlemen. It's generally me flexing, serenading senoritas on my live streams. But every once in a while, I do make posts in regards to what is going on, covering footage from protests and rallies, as an independent journalist. And someone commented on one of my posts, asking me, because I think most people think that I must be a religious person, because I have the name Chris and Christian. This is what I presume. Said, "Hey Christian, would Jesus have gotten boom shakalaka even if it possibly would save just one child, or would he be crying about his freedom?" I love this question. And I responded, ladies and gentlemen, saying, Jesus Christ would never have supported the government in forcing people to get boom shakalaka. People always want to obfuscate this issue. This issue is about choice. If your focus is that people should sacrifice themselves because it's likely to save lives, well, you can make that argument about anything. There is always something that you could restrict yourself from doing. How about driving? Thousands of people every year have car accidents. Many people die. Should you stop driving? But people always want to straw man the position. Fundamentally, the people that are advocating for the boom shackle are saying they're willing to allow their governments to force people to restrict their unalienable rights. That's force. That's coercion. That is immoral. It is evil. Jesus Christ may very well have sacrificed himself, if you believe in the conventional perspective, for everyone. Isn't that what people say? Jesus Christ gave his lives for the sins of his sons and daughters. Sure, but he did that voluntarily. He would never have asked other people to sacrifice themselves, or force them rather to sacrifice themselves, which is exactly what people like you are asking. You won't say it, but that's exactly what you're doing. And that's what I said to the guy. Fundamentally, you're wanting to use the power of the state to force people. That's evil. Sacrifice can be altruistic, but forced sacrifice is the very definition of evil. Hey, I want you to give me all your money. In fact, I'm going to force you to give me all your money because I want to do some good with it. You're a selfish person because you don't give me all your money. Hey, look, I want to force you to put this thing in your body. I'm not asking you, I'm forcing you. And if you don't, I'm going to lock you in your home. And this is what these momos are advocating for. And then they have the balls to tell you that you're being selfish. And he went on to say, my response was disingenuous. No, bro. You're the one that is being disingenuous. You're the one that's being disingenuous because fundamentally when this thing comes to shove, when push comes to shove, you were advocating for violence. You were advocating for forcing people, using the power of the state to force people to do something. That is not only unwise, stupid, it is not only evil, but it's something that Jesus Christ would not have done. Ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, let us know in the comments below what you think Jesus would do. What would Jesus do, right? But more importantly, it comes down to the golden rule. This is what this whole thing comes down to. You either believe that you have a right to force people to do things because you have some idea as to what is in the interest of the greater good, or you respect people. You wouldn't do these things to people because you believe in their sovereignty. You wouldn't want to hurt people. You wouldn't want to take shit away from them. You wouldn't want to cause intentional loss, injury to someone, because you wouldn't want that done to you. But people always want to play this appeal to potentiality game, this nonsense. Work in the realm of the intangible, say, oh, look, it might lead to X and Y. Unfortunately, there are so many people out there, so many people that have arguments like this that truly do believe what they're doing is right. In their heart, they think that it's justified. Absolutely. But unfortunately, they do not have the rationale, the philosophical, logical rationale. And this comes down to morality. Morality is not just about having a good heart, unfortunately. It's also about understanding right from wrong. If you think what you're doing is right in killing and raping people because it's going to save people you care about, unfortunately, that requires a logical insanity. Most people don't understand that when you subscribe to this kind of utilitarianistic worldview, this kind of ends justifies the means, you are basically subscribing to a morally relativistic, solipsistic worldview that is diametrically opposed to the principles of freedom, human rights, liberty, natural justice, things that Jesus most certainly would not do. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a like, tell your mom, tell your friends, drop us some comments, drop us some cryptocurrencies if you feel so inclined, and remember there are 3 things that cannot remain hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the wisdomatic truth bombs of the chocolate Nubian soul brother. Peace be upon your butt cheeks. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs. Signing out. Mwah.
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.